Well, welcome to another edition of the CSG Vodcast. Today's guest is Dr. Ala Santos, the CEO of Polonium Foundation. Ala is an accomplished healthcare innovation leader with nearly 2 decades of multidisciplinary experience spanning cancer, cardiomyopathies, infectious disease research, operating on the interface of science, entrepreneurship, and business, practicing compassionate leadership across academic startup VCs and Fortune 100 environments. She has passion and skills for commercializing innovation applied through proficiency in investment opportunity evaluation and strategic advisory service at independent and university adjacent innovation hubs and accelerators that assist entrepreneurial growth as well as during the commercialization of innovative ideas in large healthcare companies. She earned her PhD at the University of Chicago. She also enjoys giving back through long-term service at nonprofits, community volunteering, pro bono work, and mentorship. Hello, Ala, and jak się masz?
Hi, Dave. Thank you for having me. Mam się bardzo dobrze. Oh, this is very cute Polish accent in here. And very long introduction of mine. I didn't realize you're going to read the whole thing. But yeah, it's a long story.
I'm sure it's a great story too.
It's really an example of what a story of typical scientific expat would look like. So you do 1 degree in one place, you typically start off in your mother's country, motherland, and then you move around to do your bachelor's, to do your master's, to do your PhD, to do your postdoc, to search for your career. And that was exactly my case. So born and raised in Poland, moved during my master and engineering degree through student exchange to Belgium. Then I did my bachelor's in Scotland in the UK. And then I ended up at the University of Chicago doing my PhD. And after my PhD, I was working at Abbott Diagnostics, developing new platform for infectious disease testing in times of COVID. So that was a lot of fun and intensity, but now I don't have to explain to people why science is important, why diagnostics, why vaccine research is important. But again, back to my story being an example, there's many people like me that built the infrastructure of research and innovation in the whole world that moved around a lot. And what I do at Polonium Foundation, what we do as a team is we support this Polish scientific diaspora specifically. Poland is very unique in that sense that we have 40 million people or around 40 million people living in Poland, Polish people. And then there's estimation of another 20 million people of Polish descent, Polish origin that live all around the world. And a big chunk of it is in the US too. Characteristic of this group of people is that very often they are subject matter experts. And it's very interdisciplinary. I represent STEM, so biochemistry, molecular biology, and those types of life sciences. But there is also a ton of people with tech education. There is a lot of people in humanities as well, and artists. And then when we meet together as a scientific diaspora, it really sparks what is so desired these days in research and innovation: collaboration, interdisciplinarity. That's very, very crucial to what we do. Apart from supporting the scientific diaspora in what we call brain circulation. So you're probably all familiar with brain drain, or if you're not, this is the effect of young talent leaving the country to go elsewhere to explore their further education and their career, leaving the country of origin drained in a way. So what we are doing as a foundation, we turn this brain drain into brain circulation in two aspects. First, circulation happens locally. So I will give you an example. We started 10 years ago in the UK, actually, between universities of Oxford and Cambridge, where there was a high number of people from Poland that were doing research at those universities. And we organize conferences for them. And this networks people locally. So they get to know each other, they get to form those long-term relationships. But we also change this brain drain into brain circulation back to Poland. So our country, where we came from, where a lot of us started the education, we are really willing to help the country. Some people want to move there for part of their career. Some people want to support the country in whatever capacity they have. And sometimes they have really high capacity. Because if you're a professor at Harvard, or if you are high executive in a big corporation, you can really make a great impact on Poland by initiating collaborations, by co-authoring papers, by going and speaking at events in Poland, by teaching in Poland, taking sabbatical and teaching in Poland, and by bringing in people from Poland, students from Poland, for example, for internships, for whatever it might be, the level of collaboration you'll be helpful in. That also touches the economical growth of the country, because you have a lot of the subject matter expertise, and it's very important to have the top-notch experts even dial on the board call and participate in the industry and in academic development in the country. So I spoke a lot. That's how I'm doing. The question that Dave asked, by the way, meant, how are you doing? How are you?
How are you? I looked it up. But actually, I know one person from Poland, and she taught me that. So that was cool.
Okay.
So
That's
the
awesome.
goal of Polonium then sounds like it's dual goal. One is to inspire the people in Poland to be for their education and see what they can do with themselves, and also to not just export your talents, but maybe bring talents back. Am I getting that right?
Actually, yeah, the latter, just to make sure that the talent that already left is engaged, but the first one as well. So this is the circulation between Poland and the rest of the world. But also locally, we want to support those people that left their country. Often it means very practical help. So if you, for example, move to do your PhD in a foreign country, really far away from where you are from, a tip, an advice, maybe even to grab a coffee with somebody, or to meet over holidays with somebody who is of a similar background, is very helpful. Practicality, but also all of those I would say not practical, but more whimsical feelings of missing the country, or trying to be with your own people that understand you, and that's very helpful in terms of psychological and mental health as well. Just not being detached completely, if you know what I mean.
That is so cool. It's basically a networking group of intellectuals and educators from your country mixing in with wherever you are in the world. I love that. And one thing I
Correct. We
will,
have people across the globe.
yeah, I'm
We have
sure you
people
do.
across the globe. Our team is oscillating around 50 volunteers right now, and they are literally from LA to Singapore. When I'm sending a message on Slack, it often warns me, like, do you want to really send a message to this many people across this many time zones? As a network, we have a platform for virtual networking, because we organize events in physical places, but we cannot organize it everywhere. We have limited resources, and we really try to pick the places with high density of Polish scientific diaspora. For example, in the US, we just had an event a couple of weeks ago at UC Berkeley, and that was great success. Those are typically like one-day events, and about 100 people or so.
Awesome.
And you network those people. But then what do you do with people that don't have that big of a community or live in a place that that we didn't organize the event at yet? Or what do you do between the events? So we have this platform, it's called Polonium Network. And I strongly encourage you, even if you're not Polish, to go and create an account in there. You can identify talent through it. You can identify people that are in certain disciplines. People, basically, when they make their accounts, they choose what disciplines they want to be associated with, what type of funding they have received. So that's another very helpful bit, because when you are, let's say, a student or a postdoc and you search for a funding opportunity, you want to have a first-hand advice from somebody who already got it. So you can be identified by your funding sources. Of course, the affiliation with the institution, you say you go to this company or to this university, and you want to meet people that are there geographically, but also in terms of affiliation with the institution. That Polonium network is also a platform where you can find that type of information. And we are not HR agency, like we are not recruiting or anything, but we want to give our members, our community, best foot forward when it comes to career. So what we did, we actually added a tab where we feature job offers. So if you want to post a job offer to this international community, and that is especially important to companies that seek for a highly skilled talent or seek for international talent in case they are taking their business internationally. You can go and find a job in there, but you can also contact us to post a job in there. Initially, it's for free, of course, if it's like very high numbers of postings or high level company. We will charge a small fee or donation, you may say, so that we are able to upkeep the domain and the platform itself. But in general, this is not HR service. This is more to have people networking in there as well. And we just added another tool to it that's going to be going live later this year. It's a search engine for funding sources, for grants. So it's you might think it's primarily academic, and it is in a big chunk of it, but we have hundreds of grants in there that are potentially interesting also for businesses or for transitioning the idea out of academia into a commercial stages.
Wow, that is just fantastic. So much good information. I know we want to keep track of your time today, and thank you for it. But I would say to my guests out there, definitely go to their website. I will tell you that I went on and looked at a couple of the webinars they have posted, and they're fascinating, and they're really, really worth the time. So all you folks out there, especially my Microsoft people, you should take a look at what Ala's doing out there for Polonium. The information will be on the back end of this interview. So Ala, thank you so much for taking the time to be with us. I'd love to follow up sometime with you on some other stuff, some tech stuff, but really appreciate your time today. Thank you so much.
Of course. Thank you very much for the invitation, Dave, and for giving a shout out to Polonium Foundation. We have this hashtag, keep calm and carry on. So
Beautiful.
let's keep calm and carry on.
Calm and carry on. Thank you.
Thanks much. Bye bye.